we are back. Thanks for staying with us. It's time for our health segment. Dr. Adebayo Shobomowo is a third-generation medical doctor, healthcare management consultant, and serial healthcare entrepreneur. He has over 20 years of international healthcare business experience with a focus on advisory, investments, and technology. And today we will be discussing recreation, sports, fitness, hobbies, basically strategies for achieving a healthy work-life balance. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing this morning?
Fine, thank you.
How do you achieve your work-life balance? Have you been able to, what are the strategies that you've been able to put in place to achieve a health work-life balance? But first off, let us establish what a healthy work-life balance is.
So a healthy work-life balance is having a life that is not all about work, right? So there's work, and then there's life outside work. So having a balance means, it's just equally almost equally balanced, such that your life is not all about work. There's time for family, there's time for community, there's time for spirituality, and there's time for other things.
I hear you when you say spirituality, because I'm very big on spirituality, but we'll get to that in a minute.
All right.
Now, but let's look at the situation where I would say it's ideal. That's why I did this. The situation that a lot of Nigerians are living in right now. We all have a 9-to-5 work life. You wake up as early as, let me use mine as an example. I get up as early as 4:45.
Wow.
I get out of my house 5:15 a.m., just so you know, 5:15 a.m. I get to the office between 5:15 a.m. and 6:15 or 6:20.
Yeah.
And then I'm in the office till, 2-3.
Okay.
And I just want to get home. And I just want to rest.
Yeah.
And I am not just a wife, I'm also a mother. I have 2 kids. And I also run various businesses. So how am I able to achieve a healthy work-life balance?
Well,
in that regard? And this is just me. There are also people who wake up that early. They get to work before 9. They don't leave till maybe 5, 6 a.m., 6 p.m. at night. They're stuck in traffic till maybe 8 p.m. Where are you achieving that work-life balance?
Well, for me, I think it's being deliberate about it. I mean, I'm not oblivious to the fact that every Nigerian, beyond a 9-to-5, probably has 1 or 2 side hustles, right? So I'm not saying it's easy, but it's achievable. And then all you have to do is be deliberate about it, right? Look, where I live in my estate, as early as 5 a.m., I see folks walking, right? It's because they are being deliberate about it. So they've seen that the only time you probably would have is first thing in the morning before they go to work. Same thing in my gym. Some guys get there as early as 6 a.m., right? Because they know that, maybe by night when they close, they will be too tired. So it's all about being deliberate and just crafting a schedule, that works for you.
Okay. Now let's talk about some of those strategies, right, that we could do. So for a lot of people who are not able to afford going to the gym, let's talk about other alternatives that they can use in just creating that work-life balance.
Okay. So like I said, a lot of people walk, right? That's free. Just walk around, where you live, right? And then for me personally, there's also there's room for what I call spirituality, right? So whether you're a Christian, Muslim, Hindu, or whatever, making out time to commune with that spiritual being, it's a big mental boost, and it also helps, with this work-life balance. And, I find that having hobbies or interests or passions help.
Okay.
So someone like me, I have so many interests, so many passions. One of them is trying to live an impactful life, right? So from as long as I can remember, I'm always involved in projects, either in church, the community. I'm very particular about children from disadvantaged backgrounds, because I feel the odds are stacked against them, really. They need more help to sort of become successful in life. So impactfulness also, it's a big mental boost.
Yeah.
You feel better about yourself because you're helping people in the community.
Sure.
So it's all about recreation or fitness, but even spirituality and living an impactful life, from my experience, helps you achieving this work-life balance.
Let's talk about, okay, cook. So quickly, I was actually even going to add that. So something that I do before I get to the office is meditate.
Okay.
So I have this apps, which of course I would, recommend. If you're big on mindfulness, there's so many, meditation apps that you could also listen to on your drive to the office. It just basically, helps you stay grounded.
Yes.
And it also helps you to be mindful. It just puts you in a state of mindfulness so that you're not, because it's easy to get, distracted in the hustle and bustle, especially when you're on the road and somebody's just trying to piss you. Like I woke up really, really in a very good mood this morning, and then it turns out that so many, like, oh, okay, it's just, it sort of causes you some sort of, it discombobulates you a little bit.
Definitely.
So I think mindfulness and, meditation, when you talk about spirituality, actually really helps. Now let's talk about diets.
Okay.
It's a very big deal. There's no way you can achieve a healthy work-life balance without a diet. Okay. And for a lot of people, they need to eat heavy to be able to maintain that.
Well,
so let's talk about that for a minute.
Well, with diet, like, it's not easy, right? Especially in a place like Nigeria. Personally, I find that healthy food costs more than junk, right? So it's really tough. But having said that, I feel, once again, just being deliberate about it, helps, right? I mean, there are a lot of, so I think because there's a big push on wellness now, generally in Nigeria, if you go to the right places, like, you can really get healthy food without breaking the bank. There are a lot of, like, neighborhood sort of farm markets. I think some of them are like once a week. Yeah. You can go there and, like, really get fresh organic food, so yeah, I think it's all about being intentional about it.
Yeah, I agree with you. Let's talk a little bit about delegation, because I know you mentioned one of those, delegation of duties.
Okay.
Right. But what if you are not able to delegate?
Well, okay, I'll speak about both scenarios.
Yeah.
So for me, for a long time as an entrepreneur, I struggled with delegation. Because I'm like a stickler for excellence, right? Especially when the brands that I own, I feel, are very precious to me.
Exactly.
So I don't want some employee to mess up a client and then it's me. But because I suffered mentally over that with exhaustion and, just burnout, I had to learn the hard way. So I delegate what is not, like, critical, right? And it's worked for me, right? But in a situation where you can't delegate, I think that's why your time management, is very, very, very important, right? Because with time management, you just want to optimize your day, right? And then knowing how your brain works is very important. Someone like me, I think very early in university, I realized that between the hours of, like, 5 and 7, my brain is super sharp. Like, if I wake up in those 2 hours, what I can achieve, I might not achieve it in, like, 8 hours during the day. So knowing yourself really matters. I agree. Knowing when your mental alertness, peaks, right? Yeah. So.
All right. And I was quickly going to touch on mothers, because motherhood is a big thing. Achieving that work-life balance can be quite hectic. Yeah. But if you're a mother watching right now and you want to know more tips on how to achieve that work-life balance, I'm sure you can reach out to Dr. Adebayo on his socials, and then I'm sure he'll be ready and willing to answer all your questions. But thank you so much. This was very, very insightful and very helpful as well. I mean, to also kick off the year. We're still in the beginning of the year, regardless. Yeah. And on that note, we have to head over to the kitchen. We'll take a quick break. Yeah, it's the top of the hour, people. The show continues in a bit. Stay with us. We'll be right back.